How are you guys doing? Today is Friday, August 13th, 2021, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to review the Elite matchups and performances from yesterday, Thursday, August 12th, and of course, I'm going to preview everything that's going on today as we navigate through the world of sports one day at a time. Starting off in New York at Citi Field, the New York Mets hosted the Washington Nationals for a doubleheader. In Game 1, the Mets would beat the Nationals 4-1 at home as they were able to register 12 hits as well as their 4 runs. For the Nationals in this matchup, the start and the loss was given to Sean Nolan. Nolan would allow 4 earned runs in 3 innings pitched as he struck out 2. He allowed all 4 of the runs that the Nats would allow all game. With this loss, Nolan is 0-1 on the season. In their batting lineup, the only player with more than 1 hit was the Nationals' third baseman, Carter Kieboom. He went 2 for 3 on the day. For the New York Mets, the start and the win was given to Marcus Stroman out of Duke, my alma mater. He would allow 1 earned run in 5.1 innings pitched as he struck out 8. With this win, he's 8-11 on the season, and the save would end up going to Edwin Diaz. That would be his 25th of the season. He allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitched. In the Mets batting lineup, their center fielder, Brandon Nimmo, will go 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs and a run. He hit his 3rd home run of the season. Their left fielder, Dominic Smith, would go 2 for 3. Their third baseman, J.D. Davis, would go 2 for 3 as well. Their right fielder, Michael Conforto, would go 2 for 3 with a run. And with this win, the Mets went on to their second game of this doubleheader and pulled off a 5-4 win in the bottom of the 7th as the Nationals would tie up the game at 4 in the top of the 7th, thanks to, of course, a wild pitch and then a 2-run single from Andrew Stevenson to tie the game. It will be a Pete Alonso solo home run in the bottom of the 7th to give the Mets win number 59 to give them the double win. For the Nationals in Game 2, the start was given to Erick Fedde. Fedde allowed 2 earned runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 4. The loss was given to the Nationals closer for Game 2, Kyle Finnegan. Finnegan allowed 1 earned run in .1 inning pitch as he only registered 1 out before giving up the home run. And in the Nationals batting lineup, their second baseman for the day, Adrian Sanchez, would go 2 for 3 with 2 runs. He was the only player on the team with more than 1 hit. And for the Mets in Game 2, the start was given to Trevor Williams. Williams allowed 1 earned run in 4.1 innings pitched as he struck out 2. The win was given to Jeurys Familia, their closer for the day. Familia would allow no earned runs in .2 innings pitched as he finished out the 7th. He would strike out 1 batter. He would pick up his 4th blown save of the season, but with this win, he's now 6-2. In the Mets batting lineup, their elite first baseman, Pete Alonso, would go 3 for 4 with an RBI and a run. His solo home run was his 25th of the season. Their right fielder, Michael Conforto, will go 2 for 3 with 2 runs. Their shortstop, Jonathan Villar, would end up going 3 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run as Villar hit his 13th home run of the season. And with these 2 wins, the New York Mets are now 59-55. That is the second best record in the National League East as they've won their last 3 games and they've won 4 of their last 10. They currently trail the Philadelphia Phillies by half a game in the division. With these losses, the Washington Nationals are now 50-65. That is the 4th best record in the National League East. They've lost their last 4 games, and they've lost 9 of their last 10. They currently trail the Philadelphia Phillies by 10 games in the division. Jumping out to Pittsburgh, 1 state over, the Pittsburgh Pirates hosted the St. Louis Cardinals from their division, and the Cardinals would beat the Pirates 7-6, scoring their 7th run in the top of the 9th inning, thanks to a double from their elite first baseman, Paul Goldschmidt. For the Pittsburgh Pirates in this matchup, the start and the loss was given to JT Brubaker. Brubaker allowed 5 earned runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 4. With this loss, he's 4-12 on the season. In the Pirates batting lineup, their third baseman, Ke'Bryan Hayes, would go 2 for 5 with a run. Their first baseman, Colin Moran, would go 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit his 5th and 6th home runs of the season. And then their shortstop, Kevin Newman, would end up going 2 for 4. For the St. Louis Cardinals in this matchup, the start was given to Wade LeBlanc. LeBlanc allowed 3 earned runs in 2 innings pitched as he struck out a batter. The win was given to the Cardinals' first relief pitcher on the day, T.J. McFarland. McFarland would allow no earned runs in one inning pitched. With this win, he's 2-0 on the season. The save would end up being given to Alex Reyes. Reyes allowed 2 runs in one inning pitch as he struck out 2. He would pick up his 27th save of the season, and in the Cardinals' batting lineup, their elite first baseman Paul Goldschmidt would go 2 for 4 with an RBI. He was the only player in the Cardinals' lineup to finish with more than 1 hit for the day. With this win, the St. Louis Cardinals are now 58-56. That is the 3rd best record in the National League Central. They've won their last 3 games, and they've won 6 of their last 10. They now trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 11 games in the division at the moment. With this loss, the Pittsburgh Pirates are now 41-74. That is the worst record in the National League Central. They've lost their last 8 games. They are now tied with the Chicago Cubs and the Baltimore Orioles for the worst losing streak in all of baseball at the moment. And right now, they trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 28.5 games in the division as they've lost 9 of their last 10. Jumping out to Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Phillies hosted the Los Angeles Dodgers, the defending World Series champs. And the Phillies were able to beat the Dodgers in a very decisive game to hold on to their division lead. For the Dodgers in this matchup, the start and the loss was given to Mitch White. Mitch White allowed 2 earned runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 4. With this loss, Mitch White is 0-1 on the season. In the Dodgers batting lineup, nobody on the team would finish with more than 1 hit. For the Philadelphia Phillies in this matchup, the start was given to Ranger Suarez. Suarez allowed only 1 run in 4.1 innings pitched as he struck out 4. The win was given to the Phillies' 3rd relief pitcher on the day, Archie Bradley. Bradley would allow no earned runs in 2 innings pitched as he struck out 1. He would finish out the 7th and 8th innings. And the save was given to the Phillies' new closer, Ian Kennedy. Kennedy would allow no earned runs in 1 inning pitch as he walked 2 batters, but he was still able to get the win. This was save number 19 on the season. In the Phillies' batting lineup, nobody on the team would finish with more than 1 hit, but their elite right fielder, Bryce Harper, would go 1 for 2 with an RBI and 2 runs as he hit his 21st home run of the season. With this win, the Philadelphia Phillies are now 60-55. That is the best record in the National League East. They've won 8 of their last 10 games as they now sit half a game ahead of the 2nd-place New York Mets in the division. And they are currently holding on to the 3rd seed in the National League playoff race, sitting behind the San Francisco Giants out west and the Milwaukee Brewers of the Central. And with this loss, the Los Angeles Dodgers are now 69-46. That is the 2nd-best record in the National League West. They've lost 3 of their last 10 games. They currently trail the San Francisco Giants by 5 games in the division as they're holding on to the top wildcard spot, sitting 4 games ahead of the 2nd-place San Diego Padres in that race. Jumping out to Cleveland, the Cleveland Indians hosted the Oakland Athletics, who are fighting for a wild card spot. And in the wild card holding, Oakland Athletics were able to hang up 17 on the Indians, as they were able to beat the Indians 17-0, holding them to only 3 hits all game. For Cleveland at home, the start and the loss was given to Eli Morgan. Morgan allowed 5 earned runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out a batter. With this loss, Eli Morgan is 1-5 on the season. In the Indians' batting lineup, nobody on the team was able to finish with more than 1 hit, and that can be attributed to great pitching from Oakland. For the A's, the start in the win was given to Chris Bassett. Bassett allowed no earned runs and only 3 hits in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 6. He would allow all 3 of the hits that the A's would allow all day, and with this win, he's 12-3 on the season. In the A's batting lineup, their center fielder Starling Marte would go 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs. Their designated hitter Mitch Moreland would end up going 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and 3 runs, as his 2 hits were his 8th and 9th home runs of the season. Their substitute second baseman Tony Kemp would end up going 3 for 4 with 3 runs. Their catcher Sean Murphy will go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 3 runs. And with this win, the Oakland Athletics are now 67-48. That is the 2nd-best record in the American League West. They've won their last 7 games. That is currently the best winning streak in the majors at the moment. They have additionally, they've won 8 of their last 10. They currently trail the Houston Astros by 1.5 games in the division at the moment. And they are holding on to the top wild card spot as they currently sit 2 games ahead of the Boston Red Sox in that respective race, just to give a sense of where they are. And then with this loss, the Cleveland Indians are now 55-58. That is the third best record in the American League Central. They've lost their last 3 games, and they've lost 7 of their last 10. They currently trail the Chicago White Sox by 11.5 games, alongside the Detroit Tigers, who just slipped in front of them in the division standings. Jumping out to Chicago, the Chicago Cubs hosted the Milwaukee Brewers, and the Milwaukee Brewers were able to hang up 17 runs on the road as well, just like the A's, but unlike the A's, they gave up 4 runs from the Cubs side. For the Chicago Cubs in this matchup, the start and the loss was given to Kyle Hendricks. Hendricks allowed 9 earned runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 3. With this loss, Kyle Hendricks is 13-5 on the season. In the Cubs batting lineup, their pinch-hitting first baseman Frank Schwindel would end up going 2 for 2 with an RBI and 2 runs. He would hit his 3rd home run of the season. The only other player in the Cubs batting lineup that had more than 1 hit was their right fielder, Greg Deichmann. Sorry if I butchered the name. Sorry if I butchered any names in this episode. He ended up going 2 for 4 on the day. For the Milwaukee Brewers, the start was given to Brandon Woodruff. Woodruff allowed 1 run in 3 innings pitched as he struck out 3. The win was given to the Brewers' first relief pitcher, Hunter Strickland. Strickland allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitch as he struck out 2 to finish out the 4th inning. With this win, he's now 1-1 on the year. In the Brewers' batting lineup, their elite left fielder, Christian Yelich, would go 2 for 6 with 2 runs. Their first baseman, Eduardo Escobar, would go 3 for 6 with 3 runs on the day. Their left fielder, Luis Urias, would end up going 5 for 6 with 5 RBIs and 5 runs on the day. He would end up hitting 3 doubles, so he now has 22 on the season. And then Urias would end up hitting his 15th and 16th home runs of the season. So, of course, great hitting day for him. Their right fielder, Jace Peterson, would go 5 for 5 with 4 RBIs and 3 runs. Jace Peterson would hit his 8th double of the season, and he would hit his 5th home run. Their right fielder, Manny Pena, would end up going 3 for 6 with 6 RBIs and 3 runs, as Manny Pena would end up hitting his 8th and 9th home runs of the season. And then their center fielder, Jackie Bradley Jr., would go 2 for 5 with a run on the day. With this win, the Milwaukee Brewers are now 70-46. That is the best record in the National League Central. They are the 2nd team in the National League to cross the 70-win threshold, and they are and they are tied with the Rays for the 3rd team to actually do so in the entire MLB, just to give a sense of where they are standing. They've won their last 4 games, and they've won 7 of their last 10. And just to give a sense of where they are sitting 8 games ahead of the Cincinnati Reds within their own division, and they are holding the 2nd seed in the National League as they are trailing the San Francisco Giants out west, and they are sitting ahead of the Philadelphia Phillies out east. With this loss, the Chicago Cubs are now 52-65. That is the 4th best record in the National League Central. They have lost their last 8 games. That is tied with the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Baltimore Orioles for the worst losing streak in baseball right now. They've lost 9 of their last 10 games, and they now trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 18.5 games in the division. Jumping out to Baltimore, the Baltimore Orioles hosted the Detroit Tigers, and the Tigers were able to beat the Orioles 6-4, scoring 5 of their 6 runs in the 5th inning, and then scoring their 6th run the very next inning. For the Baltimore Orioles in this matchup, the start and the loss went to John Means. He allowed all 6 of the runs that the Orioles would give up in 4.1 innings pitched as he struck out 3. With this loss, John Means is 5-4 on the year. In the Orioles batting lineup, their center fielder, Cedric Mullins, would go 3 for 5 with a run. Their right fielder, DJ Stewart, would end up going 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit his 9th and 10th home runs of the season. And for the Detroit Tigers, the start and the win was given to Matt Manning. Matt Manning allowed 3 earned runs in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 2. With this win, Matt Manning is 3-5 on the year. The save was given to Michael Fulmer, the former American League Rookie of the Year. He would allow no earned runs in 2 innings pitched, and with this save, he now has 7 on the season. In the Tigers batting lineup, their right fielder, Robbie Grossman, would end up going 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. He hit his 18th home run of the season. Their third baseman, Jeimer Candelario, will go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Their first baseman, in this matchup, Renato Nunez would end up going 2-for-4 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his third home run of the season. Their second baseman, Willie Castro, would end up going 2-for-4 with a run. And then their center fielder, Victor Reyes, would end up going 2-for-2 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his third home run of the season. With this win, the Detroit Tigers are now 57-60. That is now the second best record in the American League Central. Win percentage-wise, they're actually tied with the Indians, but they have 2 more wins and 2 more losses at the moment. The Tigers have won their last 3 games, and they've won 7 of their last 10. Alongside the Indians, they now trail the Chicago White Sox by 11.5 games in the division. With this loss, the Baltimore Orioles are now 38-75. That is the worst record in the American League East, and that is also the worst record in the American League as a whole. They've lost their last 8 games, which is tied with the Chicago Cubs and the Pittsburgh Pirates for the worst in the league. They've lost 9 of their last 10, and they now trail the Tampa Bay Rays by 31 games in the division, just to give a sense of what the gap is between the best and the worst teams in the American League. Jumping out to Boston, the Boston Red Sox hosted said Tampa Bay Rays, and the Rays were able to beat the Red Sox 8-1 as the score was tied up at 1 until the 6th inning. The Tampa Bay Rays would break the tie with a Wander Franco 2-run home run, and then a balk would bring another player home, and then they score 4 runs in the 8th just to run away with win number 70 to become the first team in the American League to finish with 70 wins. Of course, actually, no, they tied with the Brewers for the second team in the MLB to 70 wins, just to correct myself from earlier. For the Boston Red Sox in this matchup, the start and the loss was given to Tanner Houck. Tanner Houck would go on to allow 4 runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 8. With this loss, Tanner Houck is 0-3 on the season. In the Boston Red Sox batting lineup, nobody on their team would be able to finish with more than 1 hit on the day. A lot of that can be attributed to great pitching from the Rays, as the Red Sox were only held to 2 hits all game. For the Rays, the start was given to Drew Rasmussen. Drew Rasmussen would only pitch 4 innings, but he would allow only 1 earned run and 1 hit as he struck out 4. The win was given to the Rays' first relief pitcher, Colin McHugh. McHugh would allow 1 earned run who allowed no earned runs and only 1 hit in only 2 innings pitched as he struck out 3. With this win, McHugh is 4-1 on the season. In the Rays batting lineup, the only player to finish with more than 1 hit was their center fielder, Kevin Kiermaier. Kiermaier would go 3-for-3 with 2 runs. Additionally, their elite shortstop, Wander Franco, would go 1-for-5 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his 5th home run of the season. With this win, the Tampa Bay Rays are now 70-45. That is the best record in the American League East, as they have, and that's also the best record in the American League, just for the record. They've won 7 of their last 10, and they now sit 5 games ahead of the second place Boston Red Sox in the division. And in the American League playoff picture, they now sit ahead. They are holding on to the number 1 seed as they sit ahead of the Houston Astros out west and the Chicago White Sox in the Central. With this loss, the Boston Red Sox are now 66-51. That is the second best record in the American League East. They've lost 7 of their last 10 games as they now trail the Tampa Bay Rays by 5 games in the division, just to give a sense of where they are. And they are currently holding on to the second American League wildcard spot, sitting 2 games behind the first place A's in the wildcard race and sitting 2 games ahead of the New York Yankees, who are the first team on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. Jumping out to Seattle, the Seattle Mariners hosted the Texas Rangers, and the Mariners were able to pull off a 3-1 home win after the Rangers were able to score the first run of the game. For the Texas Rangers in this matchup, the start and the loss went to Mike Foltynewicz. Foltynewicz allowed 3 earned runs in 7 innings pitched as he struck out 6. With this loss, Foltynewicz is 2-11 on the year. In the Rangers batting lineup, nobody on the team was able to finish with more than 1 hit, and that can be attributed to great pitching from Seattle. They only held the Rangers to 2 hits all day. In the Seattle Mariners pitching rotation, it was only 1 player. The complete game win was given to Marco Gonzalez. Gonzalez allowed 1 earned run off of only 2 hits in 9 innings pitched as he struck out 9 batters. With this win, he's now 4-5 on the season. In the Mariners batting lineup, their shortstop, J.P. Crawford, would go 2-for-4 with an RBI and a run. He would hit his 6th home run of the season yesterday. Their first baseman, Ty France, would go 2-for-4 with a run as well. With With this win, the Seattle Mariners are now 61-55. That is the third best record in the American League West. They've won their last 2 games, and they've won 5 of their last 10. They currently trail the Houston Astros by 8 games in the division, and they are currently 4.5 games behind the Boston Red Sox for the second wildcard spot, as they are the third team on the outside looking in behind the Yankees and the Blue Jays. With this loss, the Texas Rangers are now 40-75. That is the worst record in the American League West, and that is the second worst record in the American League. They've lost their last 2 games, and they've lost 8 of their last 10. They now trail the Houston Astros by 28.5 games in the division. Jumping out to Atlanta, the Atlanta Braves hosted the Cincinnati Reds, and the Reds were able to beat the Braves 12-3, scoring 9 of their 12 in the second and third innings combined. For the Atlanta Braves, the start and the loss was given to Kyle Muller. Muller allowed 6 earned runs in 2.1 innings pitched as he struck out 1. With this loss, he's now 2-4 on the season. In the Atlanta Braves batting lineup, their shortstop Dansby Swanson was the only player that was able to register more than 1 hit. He would go 2 for 3 with an RBI. Their elite second baseman Ozzie Albies would go 1 for 5 with an RBI and a run as he hit his 20th home run of the season. For the Cincinnati Reds, the start and the win was given to Vladimir Gutierrez. He allowed 1 earned run off of 5 hits in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 6. With this win, Gutierrez is 8-3 on the year. In the Reds batting lineup, their rookie second baseman Jonathan India would go 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs on the day. He would hit his 14th home run of the season. Their left fielder Jesse Winker would go 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs and 2 runs. He would hit his 24th home run of the season yesterday. Their catcher Tyler Stevenson would go 3 for 5 with an RBI and 2 runs. For himself, he would hit home run number 7, and then their center fielder Tyler Naquin would go 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs. Naquin would hit his 14th home run of the season. With this win, the Cincinnati Reds are now 62-54. That is the second best record in the National League Central. They've won 6 of their last 10 games as they now trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 8 games in the division. They are currently the first team on the outside of the National League playoff or of the wild card picture looking in, as they currently trail the San Diego Padres by 3.5 games in that race. With this loss, the Atlanta Braves are now 59-56. That is the third best record in the National League East. They've only lost 3 of their last 10 games, and they now trail the Philadelphia Phillies by 1 game in the division. Jumping out to Chicago, the Chicago White Sox hosted the New York Yankees, and the White Sox were able to pull off a 9-8 win, a comeback walk-off win thanks to a home run from their elite shortstop Tim Anderson. And this was the Field of Dreams game that was played in the middle of a cornfield, and I want to say Nebraska, but don't take my complete word for that one of those states. I want to say Nebraska. With this loss, or in the loss for the New York Yankees, the start was given to Andrew Heaney. Heaney allowed 7 earned runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 5. The loss was given to the Yankees closer for the day, Zach Britton. Britton allowed 2 earned runs in .1 inning pitched. This would be his third blown save of the season, and with this loss, he's 0-1 in 2021. In their batting lineup, their center fielder, Brett Gardner, would go 2 for 5 with 2 runs and an RBI. Brett Gardner would go on to hit his 5th home run of the season. Their elite right fielder, Aaron Judge, would go 2 for 4 with 5 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit his 24th and 25th home runs of the season. Their elite designated hitter, Giancarlo Stanton, would go 1 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his 18th home run of the season. And then the Yankees shortstop, Tyler Wade, would end up going 2 for 4 with a run. For the Chicago White Sox in this matchup, the start was given to Lance Lynn. Lynn allowed 4 earned runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 7. The win was given to their elite closer, Liam Hendriks. He would blow his 6th save of the season, but he would allow 4 earned runs in 1 inning pitch and strike out 3, but he would pick up the win thanks to the walk-off. With this win, he's now 7-2 on the year. In the Chicago White Sox batting lineup, their elite shortstop, Tim Anderson, will go 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs. Tim Anderson would hit his 13th home run of the season. Like I said, it was the 2-run walk-off. Their left fielder, Eloy Jimenez, would go 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run as Jimenez would hit his 6th home run of the season. Their elite first baseman and the reigning American League MVP from last year, Jose Abreu, would go 1 for 2 with an RBI and 2 runs as he hit his 23rd home run of the season. With this win, the Chicago White Sox are now 68-48. That is the best record in the American League Central, as they've won 6 of their last 10. They currently sit 11 and a half games ahead of the second place Detroit Tigers and the third place Cleveland Indians in their own division, and they are holding on to the third seed in the American League playoff picture, sitting behind the Tampa Bay Rays out east and sitting behind the Houston Astros out west at the moment. With this loss, the New York Yankees are now 63-52. That is the third best record in the American League East. They've lost only 3 of their last 10 games. They trail the Tampa Bay Rays by 7 games in the division, as they now trail the Boston Red Sox by 2 games in the chase for the second American League wildcard spot, just to give a sense of where the Yankees are. Jumping out to Anaheim, the Los Angeles Angels hosted the Toronto Blue Jays, and they were able to pull off a 6-3 win after scoring 5 of their 6 runs in the second and third inning, scoring 4 runs in the second inning. For the Toronto Blue Jays in this matchup, the start in the loss was given to Jose Berrios. Berrios allowed 6 earned runs in 4.1 innings pitched, as he struck out 3. With this loss, he's 8-6 on the year. In the Blue Jays batting lineup, nobody on the team would finish with more than 1 hit on the day, and that can be attributed to great pitching from LA. For the Angels, the start and the win was given to their all-star starting pitcher, Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani would allow 2 earned runs in 6 innings pitched, as he struck out 6. With this win, he's now 7-1 on the season. In the Angels batting lineup, their all-star first baseman, Jared Walsh, would go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs on the day. Their shortstop, Jose Iglesias would go 2 for 4 with 2 runs as well. And then their center fielder, Brandon Marsh, would end up going 2 for 4 with a run. With this win, the Los Angeles Angels are now 58-58. That is the 4th best record in the American League West. They have now won 6 of their last 10 games, as they now trail the Houston Astros by 11 games in the division. With this loss, the Toronto Blue Jays are now 62-52. That is the 4th best record in the American League East. They've lost 3 of their last 10 games, as they now trail the Tampa Bay Rays by 7.5 games in the division. And at the moment, they now trail the Boston Red Sox by 2.5 games for the second spot in the wild card. They are the second team on the outside looking in, right behind the New York Yankees. Half a game behind the New York Yankees, as a matter of fact. Jumping out to Phoenix, the Arizona Diamondbacks were able to get a win over the San Diego Padres. They won this one 12-3 for the Padres in this matchup. They were able to score the first 2 runs, but the Diamondbacks would flip it right back on them. They scored 8 of their 12 runs in the third and fourth innings, right back to back. For the San Diego Padres in this matchup, the start and the loss went to their elite starting pitcher, Yu Darvish. Darvish allowed 5 earned runs in 2.2 innings pitched, as he struck out 4. With this loss, he's 7-7 on the year. In the Padres batting lineup, their left fielder, Tommy Pham, would go 2 for 4 with a run. Their shortstop, Jake Cronenworth, would go 3 for 4 with an RBI as well. And for the Arizona Diamondbacks in this matchup, the start was given to Matt Peacock. Peacock allowed 2 earned runs in 1.1 inning pitch, as he struck out 2. The win was given to their first relief pitcher, Caleb Smith, who actually took the brunt of the game. He would allow 1 run in 5.1 innings pitch. He only allowed 4 hits as well in that stretch. He struck out 5 batters in the just over 5 innings that he pitched. With this win, he's now 4-8 on the season. In the Diamondbacks batting lineup, their shortstop, Josh Rojas, would end up going 4 for 5 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. Their right fielder, Pavin Smith, would go 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs and a run. Their catcher, Carson Kelly, would go 4 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run. And with this win, the Arizona Diamondbacks are now 36-80. That is the worst record in the National League West, as they have won 3 of their last 10 games. They also hold the worst record in the National League, and they also hold the worst record in all of the majors. They now trail the San Francisco Giants by 38.5 games in the division, just to give a sense of what the gap is between the best and worst team in baseball right now. And with this loss, The San Diego Padres are now 66-51. That is the third best record in the National League West. They've lost their last 2 games, and they've lost 4 of their last 10. They now trail the San Francisco Giants by 9 games in the division, and they are holding on to the second National League wildcard spot, sitting 4 games behind their division rival, the Los Angeles Dodgers, in the wildcards, who are currently holding on to the top wildcard spot. And the Padres are sitting 3.5 games ahead of the Cincinnati Reds, as the Reds are the first team on the outside looking in on the National League side. Jumping out to San Francisco, now last but not least, the team that holds the best record in baseball hosts the Colorado Rockies, and they were able to shut the Rockies out 7-0, holding the Rockies to only 4 hits all game. For Colorado, the start in the loss was given to Germán Marquez. Marquez allowed all 7 of the earned runs that the Rockies would give up in 4 innings pitched, as he struck out 6. With this loss, Marquez is 10-9 on the season. In the Rockies batting lineup, nobody on the team would finish with more than 1 hit, and that can be attributed to great pitching from San Francisco, even though nobody on San Francisco finished with more than 1 hit either. But for the Giants, the start in the win was given to their starting pitcher, Logan Webb. Logan Webb allowed no earned runs he allowed no earned runs on 3 hits and 6 innings pitched, as he struck out 8. With this win, Webb is now 6-3 on the year. In the San Francisco Giants batting lineup, nobody on the team would finish with more than 1 hit. But of course, their right fielder for the day, LaMonte Wade Jr., would go 1-for-4 with 3 RBIs and a run, as he had his 15th home run of the season. With this win, the San Francisco Giants are now 74-41. That is the best record in the National League West. That is the best record in all of baseball. They've won their last 5 games. That is the best win streak in the National League at the moment, just to give a sense of where he is. It's the second best winning streak in baseball behind the Oakland Athletics. They've won 8 of their last 10 games, and they now sit 5 games ahead of the second place defending World Series champs LA Dodgers within their own division. And they're holding on to the 1 seed in the playoff picture, sitting ahead of the Brewers, the leaders of the Central, and the Phillies, the leaders of the East at the moment. With this loss, the Colorado Rockies are now 51-64. That is the 4th best record in the National League West. They have now lost their last 3 games, and they've lost 5 of their last 10. They now trail the San Francisco Giants by 23 games in the division at the moment, and that is what the MLB is looking like following this arrangement right now. And then quickly looking at what's going on in the MLB, what's scheduled for today, because today is Friday, which is sometimes more of a travel day for a lot of teams. But all these games are going to be these games are starting at 7. Starting in D.C., our nation's capital, Josiah Gray and the Washington Nationals are going to host Charlie Morton in the Atlanta Braves. Charlie Morton enters his matchup with a 10-4 record alongside a 3.52 ERA. At the same time, at 7:05, Zach Wheeler and the Philadelphia Phillies are going to host Tyler Mahle and the Cincinnati Reds. Mahle enters his matchup with a 9-3 record alongside a 3.78 ERA. Zach Wheeler enters his matchup as one of the front runners for the Cy Young Award in the National League. He's holding a 10-6 record alongside a 2.42 ERA. At the same time, at 7:05, Mitch Keller and the Pittsburgh Pirates are going to host Brett Anderson and the Milwaukee Brewers. Brett Anderson is holding a 4-5 record alongside a 3.54 ERA. At 7:10 on ESPN+, Nick Pivetta and the Boston Red Sox are going to host Spencer Watkins and the Baltimore Orioles in Fenway. At the same time, at 7:10, Jesus Luzardo and the Miami Marlins are going to host Adbert Alzolay and the Chicago Cubs in Miami. At the same time, at 7:10, Tyler Alexander and the Detroit Tigers are going to host Zach Plesac and the Cleveland Indians. At 7:10, the New York Mets, the leaders of the former leaders of the National League East, led by Tyler McGill, are going to host the Los Angeles Dodgers, the defending World Series champs, led by their starting pitcher Julio Urias. Julio Urias enters his matchup with a 13-3 record alongside a 3.41 ERA. At 8:05, Dane Dunning and the Texas Rangers are going to host Cole Irvin and the Oakland Athletics. Cole Irvin enters his matchup with an 8-10 record alongside a 3.45 ERA. At 8:10, Mike Minor and the Kansas City Royals are going to host Jack Flaherty and the St. Louis Cardinals. The elite Jack Flaherty is holding an 8-1 record alongside a 2.90 ERA. At 8:10, Michael Pineda and the Minnesota Twins are going to host Shane McClanahan and the Tampa Bay Rays. McClanahan enters his matchup with a 6-4 record alongside a 3.75 ERA. Michael Pineda enters his matchup with a 4-7 record alongside a 3.83 ERA. At 9:38, Patrick Sandoval and the Los Angeles Angels are going to host Zach Greinke and the Houston Astros. Zach Greinke enters his matchup with a 10-3 record alongside a 3.69 ERA. Patrick Sandoval enters his matchup with a 3-5 record alongside a 3.39 ERA. At 9:40, Madison Bumgarner and the Arizona Diamondbacks are going to host Blake Snell and the San Diego Padres. The elite Blake Snell is entering this matchup with a 6-4 record alongside a 4.86 ERA, just to give a sense of where he's at. At 9:45, Anthony DeSclafani and the San Francisco Giants are going to host Austin Gomber and the Colorado Rockies. Austin Gomber enters his matchup with a 9-6 record alongside a 3.79 ERA. Anthony DeSclafani enters his matchup with a 10-5 record alongside a 3.28 ERA. And last but not least, at 10:10, Chris Flexen and the Seattle Mariners are going to host Robbie Ray and the Toronto Blue Jays. Robbie Ray is holding a 9-5 record alongside a 2.90 ERA on the year. Chris Flexen is sporting a 10-5 record alongside a 3.81 for the year for himself. So that is what the MLB is going to be looking like. Taking a look at what's going on outside of the world of baseball, starting with soccer, because some of the leagues are actually getting underway as of today. The Premier League is going to get started as Arsenal is going to face off against Brentford at 3 o'clock. At the same time, Valencia is going to face off against Getafe for the very first matchup of the La Liga season. And then in the Bundesliga season, Borussia Mönchengladbach is going to host the reigning Bundesliga champs Bayern Munich to get that season underway as well. And of course, it's going to be the start of an amazing 2021-22 FIFA season. And with that said, I want to thank everyone for listening to this piece. I hope all is well, and once all of today's matchups are done, I will come back tomorrow on Saturday, August 14th, to cover everything that I covered for today. Friday, August 13th, 2021, right here as we are back in this quarantine with the Delta variant running amok. With that said, I am James Sims. I want to thank everyone for listening to this piece. I hope all is well, and I want to thank everyone for this patience, because over the summer I've still been catching up on getting my videos to post the same day as I record them. Thanks for your patience. I hope all is well, and I'll catch you on the flip. Thanks for listening to my piece, and peace out.